Hey Chaotic Crew, Brian here with another spicy deck tech from Bloomburrow. This time we're focusing on the Claw. It's of course the infamous Cruelclaw. But before we dive in, I wanted to point out that all of our pre-con reviews, upgrades, and giveaways are live on our YouTube channel, so make sure to check those out. Figure out how you can win a free Bloomburrow pre-con, US only by the way, and make sure to check those videos out. We're revealing the first winner tonight on our Twitch stream, twitch.tv/chaoticcommandermtg. So at 9:30 Central, make sure to tune in for that. We're going to be revealing the winner there. But let's dive right into the infamous Cruelclaw, a really fun card. And you might notice from the thumbnail, I've got a bit of a Princess Bride quote in there. But whenever I see this alt art of the infamous Cruelclaw, I think of Inigo Montoya. So I had to put that in there. But a 3-mana 3/3 in Rakdos colors for a legendary creature, Weasel Mercenary, with Menace. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. So really the whole point of this deck is to cheat out massive mana spells and refilling our hand, so we have a lot of discard synergy to do that. So first thing we need to do is we need to get cards in our hand, right, to be able to discard to get some free stuff. So we've got Archon of Cruelty, a really strong card. When it enters or attacks, target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, discards a card, and loses 3 life, and then you draw a card and gain 3 life. So when you're discarding a card to cast this for free, it just pays for itself right away and you get another card back. And then if it stays alive for another turn cycle, you get to do it again. Blood for the Blood God, really good. It doesn't matter that it's going to cost less normally, because if we're casting off the top of our library, we're just going to be able to draw 8 cards and deal 8 damage to each opponent. So refilling that hand, very nice. Call in the Ring, really good. 2 uses here. One, it's helping us draw more cards at the beginning of the upkeep, and then when we do have the ring tempt us, we can, make the infamous Cruelclaw our ring bearer, make it harder to block, so that can be helpful there. We don't run too many Madness cards in the deck, but Call of the Netherworld, really important. You can discard it and cast it for free to get a black creature card from your graveyard to your hand, so this is really good to have in your hand. Not really something you want to cast off of the Cruelclaw's ability, so yeah, I don't know. So we run a few cards, like a handful, that you can whiff on with this commander. You don't want too many. So there's not a ton of ramp. There's not a ton of really low to the ground stuff. We were just casting a lot of big spells here. Containment Construct, really good as well. It makes it so that when you discard a card, you can play it this turn. So if you're discarding lands for the Cruelclaw's ability, you could just play those as your lands for turn, right? Because the Cruelclaw is not going to be getting us lands. We're only getting non-lands with this. So this is really good to make sure that we're getting value out of the cards we discard. I can't pronounce this card. Karazakar, the Eye Tyrant, 5 mana 5/5. This is really just, when an opponent attacks another one of your opponents, you and the attacking player each draw a card and lose a life. It's sort of a way to, entice your opponents to not come at you, right? You want to make sure that, we're going to not be the target as much as possible, just because we do have a lot of big things that look very threatening. Obnexus Reignited, when it enters, can destroy a creature or have us draw a card, so it can refill our hand right away. We're typically not going to be using the big minus here, but just a good budget add for the deck. Rakdos, Patron of Chaos. Pretty much, I've never seen this not draw cards. 6/6 Flying Trample, beginning the end step. Target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land, non-token permanents, and if they don't, you draw 2 cards. So this is a really great way. Sandstone Oracle refills your hand. Squee, you can just constantly discard every turn. And then, of course, you got to have One Ring in this kind of deck. We do have some ramp spells. Soul Ring, don't feel too bad about hitting that off of the Cruelclaw, because it'll help us cast some of the bigger spells in our hand. Prosper is really great because we are casting from exile. It gives us treasures and gives us technically some more card draw as well. Arcane Signet and Talisman Indulgence are great. Shiny Impetus can buff our commander and make it harder to block, or we can put it on someone else and make it so that that problematic creature isn't attacking us, so that's good as well. We do have some ways to reanimate our creatures, reclaim those prizes, our big meaty spells that we're going to get to here in a second. Animate Dead is good. Artisan of Kozilek. It is a cast trigger when you're casting off the top of your library, so you get that cast trigger if you run this or any other Eldrazi. Maybe a good little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, another way to go with the deck. Beacon of Unrest is really good because you cast it and then, you discard a card, then you can, bring the creature back you discarded, and that's pretty cool there. And then this comes back in the deck. Rakdos joins up, also good. We have a few legendary creatures, and pretty much this can help get our commander back, or can help make it so that people don't want to get rid of some of our creatures. And then Reanimate is always great as well. For some removal pieces, we have Archfiend of Ifnir. We are discarding a lot, so we are putting those -1/-1 counters on our opponent's creatures. Big Game Hunter is a great madness card to discard with our commander, but we also don't mind hitting off the top of our library, right? It can just come in and destroy a creature if we wanted to. Call Forth the Tempest is a really great board wipe, right? You cast it from the top. It has 2 Cascades, and we have very high mana value in this deck, so most likely going to wipe most of our opponent's board, and we get 2 free spells out of it, so it's pretty great. Chaos Warp, you need to have it in these red decks. Dark Withering, also, don't mind hitting off the top, but if we have it in our hand for the madness, it's just a great removal spell on top of our commander's ability. Feed the Swarm can hit those pesky enchantments, as can Shatter the Oath, a spicy include I had. Heartless Conscription is a lot of mana, but my thought process behind this was we're going to be exiling each creature, including our commander, right? But we can easily cast our commander for 3 mana the next turn and get him back. It won't have commander tax, so I think it's definitely not a terrible thing to do. Not a bad board wipe to have in the deck. And then Necromantic Selection, kind of similar, right? We're going to be destroying all creatures, but then we can bring our commander back, so that's helpful there. Noxious Gearhulk destroys a creature and gains us life. Having that life gain is really helpful because we do have a lot of cards that we've seen already that are going to make us lose life. So as much life gain as we have, the better. Likewise, Shadowgrange Archfiend, going to cost 8 life to madness it out, but we are gaining life when it enters the battlefield, so if we cast it off the top, it could be helpful there too. Overseer the Damned, destroys a creature, gives us a zombie, and those are really the main removal pieces. We've also got ways to help our commander get in, protect it, give it haste, or even double combats, and that's sort of what this section is, the Speed Weasel section. Agent of the Shadow Thieves is really good because it's going to give it Death Touch and Indestructible, so no one's going to want to block it with 2 creatures, right? That'll be helpful. Anger is a card we can discard to our commander and give all our stuff haste. Garner's really good, also gives haste if it's on the battlefield, and when it enters the battlefield, you return to your hand all creatures that were put there from anywhere. So if you get this off the top, you can discard a creature, you get Garner for free, and the creature comes back, so it's just a free Garner that gives haste, which is nice. Key to the City can make unblockable. Lightning Greaves, obviously great. Overpowering Attack is a new card that's really incredible in this deck. Relentless Assault, you've seen that before too. And then, of course, Swiftfoot Boots and Whisper Silk Cloak to help it get by. And then, really, the main meat and potatoes of the deck here, Anzrag's Rampage, always great. Gets rid of your opponent's ramp, and you're usually going to have a big creature on the top to get for free, so I always love this card. Boneheart Dracosaur, kind of also feeding into that, exile theme, helping ramp us and getting us bodies as blockers in the battlefield, so always really good there. Braid Stealer Dragon, a big body that's going to also feed into that exile theme, right? Brass's Tunnel Grinder is good too. It does have the discard draw theme that we're kind of going for here too, but on the back you're going to be able to discover when you cast spells with it. Camille is amazing as well. Spells you control can't be countered, and then in your end step you discover 5, so you're essentially getting another free spell if you get this for free, and it's going to be uncounterable. Crabomination is a fun little one that came out in Modern Horizons 3. Pretty much you get a free spell when it enters, which is nice. Ensnared by the Mara is the same way. Tali, Primal Storm, doesn't need to go further than that. Fevered Suspicion, a great card. You essentially get 3 free spells, and it just really has rebound, so this is amazing to get off the top of your library. Flaming Tyrannosaurus helps burn our opponents out, as well as Passionate Archaeologist and Keeper of Secrets. It's sort of, a way we can end the game quicker here with these decks. Hit the Mother Load is, you get out the top, and you're getting either a bunch of treasures or a massive spell, so it's always a good hit. Jessica's Will is amazing. Karavek the Merciless, another way to burn our opponents. Whenever they cast spells, they're getting dealt that much damage, so pretty great. Carter Doom Scourge, another fantastic way to keep everyone away from attacking us, which is nice. Rakdos, Lord of Riots, helps make it easier to cast our creatures, right? Say we didn't cast a spell, we just came with our commander, get Rakdos off the top, well, they've taken damage, so we can cast it, and then all of our creatures for the rest of the turn will cost 3 less to cast, so definitely will be a solid include here. And then Rise of the Dark Realms, right? A great way to end the game quickly. Now, this can be a little tricky, right? Because we will be getting all these creatures back after the combat step, which is typically how we win the game. So this could be a card you take out, but I just like it in here for now. Trumpeting Carnosaur, this just puts in so much work in any deck it's in. Just an amazing card. Valky, we're never going to use. It's always going to be the... Oh... It's always going to be Tybalt Cosmic Imposter, which also, you know, feeds into that exile theme, and same with Wild Magic Sorcerer. Got 36 lands in the deck, not too bad. A couple cards, Arena of Glory and Hanwar Battlements, going to really help out with the haste. Drownyard Temple, some sweet tech to discard, and you can pay 3 mana to put on the battlefield tapped from the graveyard. So a little bit of ramp and Rakdos, which you don't typically see. So everything else is typical, you know, 2 mana decks. So let's just dive right into the playtest. And right here, this isn't terrible. I think this is probably what we're going to be seeing on average, right? A few lands, some high mana spells, maybe some stuff we can use later in the line, but we're pretty much going to be getting our commander out on turn 3. And going from there, so let's see how it goes. So turn 1, drawing a land, we'll go ahead and play the Swamp, pass. Turn 2, we do get the Signet, which is nice. We'll play the Tainted Peak and cast the Signet. And then turn 3, we are going to play our commander. Now the biggest thing this deck has is, maybe if you've played it against your opponents a lot, they might have some PTSD and have some removal ready. Obviously, you can edit your deck as the meta shifts around you, but typically turn 3, some boards are going to look a lot scarier than this one, depending on the meta you're in. So you don't need to worry too much about that. Turn 4, and we draw another great card. So turn 4, we can go ahead and attack, right? We're going to hit one person. It's got Menace. It's going to be one person without 2 blockers. And let's go ahead and spin the wheel. We get Relentless Assault. So yeah, let's go ahead and discard this mountain. Cast a free Relentless Assault and go gambling once more. And swing again. And we get Animate Dead this time. So this is great. We can discard Trumpeting Carnosaur to cast this. And then we can get Trumpeting Carnosaur out with this. Discover 5, we get a free Bonehorde Dracosaur, which is fantastic. And then, you know, we also have in our hand Overpowering Attack. Only costs 3 because of the free running. We dealt damage with our commanders. We get another combat step. So already this game, we are popping off and can just keep it going. Let's try with another one and restart. Okay. This isn't terrible. We have the Passionate Archaeologist to start dealing damage. Call to the Netherworld can help get stuff out. We don't have a lot of big creatures to discard, which is kind of what we want with the Animate Dead, but we'll see what we draw into. Turn 1, we get a land. That's not bad. Let's just go ahead and play the Smoldering Marsh for now. Turn 2, Anzag's Rampage isn't bad. We will do this. Cast the Passionate Archaeologist. Turn 3, we get another land. So let's go ahead and do this and cast our commander. And if they, for whatever reason, they do decide to kill it, we can just get it back with Call to the Netherworld and cast it next turn. So that's not bad either. Let's see, next turn, we get the Fevered Suspicion. All right, so we are going to play this land, and we're going to swing in. We're going to go to get Archfiend of Ifnir. It's on the stack. We're going to discard this Drownyard Temple to the graveyard and get Archfiend of Ifnir, deal 5 damage to someone's face, and then main phase 2, we will tap. Well, actually, this is anyone's turn, so probably during our opponent's end step, we'll get the Drownyard Temple back, which is nice. And then we will, next turn, Necromantic Selection, not bad. We only have 6 mana. Now, we could go for Anzrag's Rampage here, which I don't hate, right? Can get us maybe into something fun, but I want to see. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best play to do that. See if we can get anything with maybe haste or a fun end of the battlefield trigger. Let's just say we get 3 artifacts off of this. So let's see. That's not anything we can get. All right, so we whiff off of that. So no big deal. And then we'll come in with our commander. and we'll get a Swift of Boots, so not ideal. Sometimes you're going to get that little whiff, but this will help us protect our commander in the future or protect this Archfiend of Ifnir, so I think it's worth. We can go ahead and discard this call to the Netherworld because we're not really going to be using it, and go from there. But yeah, this is sort of a hand that doesn't really turn into anything. Let's do one more test, right? One more test, and no lands here, so we will take our first mulligan. Okay, this one's not bad. 3 lands and Containment Construct is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and start it off. Ooh, we get the ramp as well. So 1, 2. We can play the Talisman. Turn 3. Yeah, let's do this and cast our commander. And turn 4. Ooh. Not a lot to do here. We can play Containment Construct and then discard the Passionate Archaeologist and cast that. I say let's go for that. If our board is too oppressive, we can go for the Carter, right, to help out. But I say we cast the Containment Construct, attack with this. We get Archfiend of Ifnir, and we'll cast the Passionate or we'll exile that, or after discarding it, right? And then we get the Archfiend. This is exiled, and we'll cast this. Main phase 2. So this is what our board looks like after turn 4, which is pretty good. And then we will go to turn 5. If they remove anything, we can animate dead it. We also have Andrag's Rampage once more, so if our opponents do have a lot of artifacts, we can go for that. But let's just go in for it now. Noxious Gear Hulk is great. We can discard, Andrag's Rampage and exile it and cast it this turn, or Carter Doomscourge. Like, that's what's really great about Containment Construct. It really adds value to the cards we have in hand. So right now we're in a pretty strong position, giving our opponents -1/-1 counters and removing a creature that's really problematic, gaining life. So and dealing 6 damage, might I add. So really good deck here, really fun deck, and I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to check out the Twitch stream later tonight after this video goes live, 9:30 Central. We're going to be revealing the first of the 4 pre-con giveaways, so make sure to check out those videos and go ahead and sign up for those if you haven't already. You'll learn how to by watching the video, and I'll see you there. But otherwise, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.